Hello and thanks for joining us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome to Democracy Today. I am Ijoma Osamor. It's 96 days, or you can call it 13 weeks or 4 months to February 16, a day slated for the 2019 presidential election. The 2019 general election is fast approaching, with openly expressed fears and apprehension on the safety of the citizens, even though campaigns are yet to start. Electioneering begins in 7 days' time. These apprehensions may not be unconnected to mudslinging and the use of smear words against candidates by their opponents. Decent campaigns are devoid of blackmail and the deployment of abusive, immoderate vulgar and falsehood. The success of the election depends on strict adherence to the code of ethics and conduct for politicians. Now, the Niger Delta is no doubt a region of special interest during the elections. The past experience in Rivers State led to the suspension of the Port Harcourt 3 State Constituency supplementary election, which INEC is yet to conclude up to date. And as the 2019 general elections draw closer, it is important for us to wake up the consciousness of the gladiators, the supporters and the voters on the need for a peaceful electioneering in the Niger Delta. A few days ago, the Ijaw Youth Council, represented by the Secretary General of the Council, was on the program after the opposition People's Democratic Party raised alarm over what they called overwhelming presence of security personnel in Bayelsa State.
It is no longer news that the APC, for obvious reasons, has been bent on forcefully taking over the control of oil-rich Bayelsa State as well as other littoral states, for which it now seeks to turn them into theaters of war with the support of certain individuals in control of federal apparatus of power. Today, the PDP and the people of Bayelsa State is being pushed to the wall as we expose to Nigerians and the international community the ongoing plot by the APC and its Buhari presidency to bully the people of Bayelsa State and politically annex the state by the use of crude force. The PDP alerts Nigerians of the current design to use security agencies, particularly the police, to browbeat the people.
All right, that is the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Kola Ologbondiyan. We couldn't complete the discussion due to time constraints, but tonight we shall once more focus on the issue and chart the path to peace and orderliness. We have guests in the studio to examine the issue. We have the Secretary General of the Ijaw Youth Council, Alfred Kama-Padu. You're welcome to Democracy Today. I know you'll be laughing.
Thanks for
having me. We also have the Executive Director, Place in Nigeria Initiative is Egbe Akparaku Adu. Thank you, Chief, for coming on the program today again. Now, both of you, welcome to Democracy Today, but let's just quickly take this story from the latest in political scene. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Adams Oshiomhole, opened up on his encounter with officers of the Department of State Services, DSS, on Saturday after his return to Nigeria from London. The APC national chairman, who spoke with editors in Lagos, however, described his engagement with the DSS officers as a conversation and not an arrest or detention. The Impatto national chairman told newsmen that he left Nigeria to visit his wife, who is ill in the United States, and later met with the APC national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in London. Now, let me take a few lines from his words, and I quote. The conversation centered around APC primaries. The question now is whether or not it is the DSS job to interfere in a political party issue? And if there is an allegation of corruption, is it the responsibility of the EFCC and ICPC? That's the question at the end of quote. He dismissed the rumor that the DSS rescheduled another meeting with him after the initial one. He also denied the report that he was released on administrative bail by the Kogi State Governor, Alhaji Yahya Bello, saying, and I quote, "I was the one who called Yahya Bello and he came, but I drove home in my own car." On the call for his arrest by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the APC national chairman said, and let me go back again to that same quote, what would they have said if it was the PDP chairman that was invited by the DSS, for instance, over the Dollar Bazaar at their Port Harcourt primary? They would have said democracy is under threat and would have fired a letter to the UN, as they often ridicule themselves, end of quote. Now, his arrest and subsequent detention was said to have been orchestrated by some aggrieved party leaders, many of whom are sitting governors whose preferred aspirants failed to win the party's ticket for various positions. Osamor suddenly left the country Tuesday after interrogation for hours by the Department of State Service, DSS, and last Sunday and Monday, the squeeze was said to have been prompted by petition from Imo, Ogun, Niger, Zamfara, Kaduna, Bauchi, Adamawa, Delta, and Cross River State over the outcome of the party's primary election. The petitions, in which Osamor was accused of alleged bribery and manipulation, were sent to the DSS. But the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the presidency, the national chairman, was also accused of usurping the functions of the APC Working Committee and relocated from the national headquarters to his personal campaign secretariat at Asokoro, Abuja. That's the allegation that they carried, and that was why the chairman left. The chairman left this country. That's the allegation they carried, but the chairman says he went to see his wife. And hopefully this week, Osamor will be addressing also the media on certain issues. He will be clearing the air, especially of those he says he calls the doubting Thomases. He is still the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. The national chairman, Major squabble are with governors Rocha Sokorocha and Ibikunle Amosu of Imo and Ogun State, respectively. Osamor had been at the center of controversy emanating from arrest and detention by the DSS officers in the past few days. But before we go into such discussion, let's see if we'll have reports from across the states. All right, if there are any reports, we'll bring to you as the program continues. Like I said, I have two gentlemen here with me in the studio. On Friday, we didn't give much time to the Ijaw Youth Council person to talk, but this night, I want to start from him. Alfred.
Thanks.
What is the experience in Baisa?
The experience is not a friendly one. It's getting sad. Like I said the other day, security seems to be deteriorating, and this is consequent upon the politicization of security, which we're all complaining about. And like I said, I'm not interested in the political component of that conversation. What I'm interested in is the safety of lives of Ijaw people and the property of Ijaw people. And anything...
Ijaw or Niger Delta people?
Ijaw people in the Niger Delta. And anything that will further contribute to the demarketing of that region. That's what I'm against. Like we had complained, even in the month of July, we complained. You can't have a state in this country, it doesn't happen anywhere, that they politicize security to the extent that you deploy 8 commissioners of police to that state in less than 5 months. In these 5 months, they deployed about 5 commissioners in about 2 weeks. So that's an average of a commissioner. So it's deteriorating. And the further complaint is after deploying these police commissioners, look at the recent police commissioner that has been deployed back, was one of those that the police authorities deployed, that they felt was not good enough, that was taken out of the states. It was brought back, taken out of the state. It was brought back on the 31st of October, then transferred out of the state. He resumed on the 5th of November, transferred out of the state on the 8th of October, and in less than 24 hours, he was deployed back to the state again. Who does that?
Was there a petition against him?
Well, the police authorities will handle that better, but the component of the conversation that I'm interested in that, when there is this frequent and constant switch of police commissioner or police or security heads, it has a way of depleting confidence in the hierarchy of the police. It has a way of taking away potency in the structure of how they operate. So you can already see that even serving police officers in Bayelsa State are not sure of who a commissioner is. So if in the last 5 months they have deployed about 8 police commissioners, which means we are having a police commissioner for about 3 weeks, an average of less than 3 weeks in Bayelsa State. So you see that the police hierarchy and the command will begin to, which commissioner and which authority do we now get loyal to? And you can't dissociate this from the rising crime rates in Bayelsa State. Recently, you may have heard in the TV that one Ozogu, Alfred Sarah, who coincidentally is a younger sister to one of the people working with me. That's why I'm even passionate about this. Was out of, this insecurity that has been blown into the Bayelsa State was shot. So these are the things we're against. And you see, when you begin to hear questions like, what is so special about a police commissioner that only that police commissioner is now being deployed to the states about 3 times, so much that they can take him out and bring him in 24 hours. It begins to raise questions with respect to the politicization of the police authority, constitutional authority, we may agree, but it is not the best for the security of the state, because you must not also forget that public confidence is also part of security. And politicians are beginning to allege that he was being fingered and is masterminded to come and pretend over Bayelsa by some politicians who want to use him to influence elections, the coming elections, to go the way they want it against others and other stuff. And you can't wish away these allegations, because...
But you know that the issue of security, if they took this man, the issue of security is a very sensitive one.
Yeah.
If they took the man away from Bayelsa, they brought him back, they took him back away again, and also returned him, and now he's still the commissioner. Don't you think that the police may be thinking this man knows the terrain? So
so at what point did they think that he knows the terrain, that they supplied him to Bayelsa, took him off, supplied him again, and took him?
Is he a good?
Supply. Is he
No. But he's sounding like a good. He's becoming comical. That is why you see, you can see the too many fingers, like they say in the pot of soup, makes it sour. And you cannot take away the public confidence component of security. So this whole thing is what has put the conversation in the air, which I am also tempted to believe that is being done by some politicians. And don't forget, our politics has also been infiltrated by some criminal elements who may be doing this.
Sorry, so, I would like to, I will come back to you, but I would like to sound this here, that this program, we do not take harsh words or name calling on the program, and we want to maintain decorum as we talk. I'll come back to you, Alfred. I'll come back to you, but let's go to Chief Egbe.
Yes.
You've heard him speak about Bayelsa. We're going to talk about the Niger Delta, but if I want to repeat what he said, is confidence of the people for the police is dwindling. So they are not safe. They don't feel secured anymore because of the happenings recently.
First of all, looking at, he is speaking for Ijaw people. And I want to first of all clear that part of making it look like these officers that are going there against Ijaw people.
Ijaw people.
Posting generally in the security circle, is a routine that is fixed. If a commissioner of police is sent to Bayelsa today, and he gets there, and the people say they don't want him, it's only those who don't know what to do that will not know where to start. If the governor of that state, I keep hammering on the governor because he's the chief security officer of that state, if he's not comfortable with the commissioner of police working with him, he knows what to do. If 5 commissioners of police have, like he said, within the short time of this period,
less than 5 months.
Less than 5 months, 5
Eight.
commissioners,
Eight.
8 commissioners have come and gone. I want to still believe that the governor of that state is aware of the security movement in and out of the commissioner that comes and go. Even if they still change the one that is on ground now, another one comes, the governor of that state still knows what to do. If he's not comfortable with it, he will do something. First, my message to Bayelsa people generally, not just to Ijaw now, Bayelsa is a heartbeat of Niger Delta. If Bayelsa triggers hot, Niger Delta triggers.
Is he at the center of the Niger Delta?
Not just being at the center of the Niger Delta. First, you have Bayelsa bounding rivers. You have Bayelsa bounding Delta. Now, you can't talk about the creek activities or the sea or ocean activities and all that without counting Bayelsa. Bayelsa is like a pin at the point of a hole, where any slightest chance or mistake you make, the pin will fall in a hole. If the security of Niger Delta is considered important in Nigeria, then Bayelsa, first of all, must be treated at this point as a baby.
Is that the reason why they are deploying so much?
The reason deploying so many officers to Bayelsa, first, I still believe, I'm still standing on my point, that the security agencies are working on intelligence. There is something that is attracting the large population of this posting to Bayelsa State. And my own point is, if there's anything found already that is capable of breaching the peace of Niger Delta, to start from Bayelsa State, if the security that are posted there are for the purpose of keeping peace, maintaining peace and order, the peace of Bayelsa is the peace of Niger Delta. And at the end of the day, if these officers on ground are there for the purpose of maintaining peace, my call to Bayelsa people generally and the rest part of Niger Delta is any security officer you see around you, and if you don't understand what that means, first of all, every citizen should know the DPO, Director SSS, local government command officer of civil defense. If their numbers are not on air, every citizen have right to walk into the DPO's office and say, DPO, I am living within your jurisdiction. I want to have your phone number. Yes, they are entitled to it.
They are entitled to it.
Every citizen
but
in
does
this
it,
country.
Does it work like that in Nigeria?
That is originally how it is supposed to be. I want to still believe that at this point where Bayelsa people are sounding fear now, they are afraid of what is happening and all that, we'll be using opportunities like this to call on Inspector General of Police to give Bayelsa, whoever is the Commissioner of Police in Bayelsa State, Director of SSS in Bayelsa State, Civil Defense Commandant of Bayelsa State, and the rest of officers in that state, they should make it easy by making Bayelsa people to be free. They should put their numbers on air in Bayelsa state stations and all that and make them have numbers to report issues.
Now, sorry, please, I have to come here. Yes. Because from what he says,
yes,
it seems that the issue of confidence is the problem here. They don't have confidence in this.
The only way the confidence will be built is for the Commissioner of Police, Director SSS, the Director SSS there, and the Commandant of Civil Defense in Bayelsa State particular, to come up with numbers that people will call. That is the only way the confidence will return, that yes, the people you see on the street are not your enemies. But if you have anything negative or any character or attitude acted by them against citizens of Bayelsa, call these numbers. Officers that are found guilty of several offenses, so many of them have been thrown out of the force. And as it stands now, we have election at hand. Yeah. For me, I don't think any of the security chiefs will want to take chances to say, okay, my boys have gone there and they have misbehaved, and because it's closer to me, or it's a special posting, or maybe this person is influenced by one politician or the other, for that reason, this person will not be removed. Every security officer that is wearing Nigerian uniform is entitled to that duty, but then Nigerians are entitled to the security he's been paid for.
Yeah.
So if a security officer in the street is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, every citizen around that environment should walk up to the boss or whoever the person is reporting to and put the complaint there. And if he's not taking care, they can go to the radio house and put their complaint.
Now, are you saying that the Bayelsa people who feels, some of them, it may not just be all of them, those who feels that this particular police commissioner that they removed, they brought back, they removed again, and it's not there, that they don't have confidence? This is about security. And when I complain that the security man attached to me, I don't have confidence in him. What do you expect the person to do? If
Bayelsa people are not comfortable with this particular commissioner of police that is becoming a subject of argument, yes, and possibly getting towards dusting the whole area to make it look like this commissioner of police is for me, the commissioner issue is a diversion of interest. Let's not look at this commissioner. Let the governor of that state write to the Inspector General of Police and request for the post removal of that man. If that man is going to be a problem, and possibly some people are already putting an allegation that this man knows so much about Bayelsa, and then they removed him and bring him back again, bring other people and all that, and they returned him back. I want to still believe that it's possible that these persons that have been sent to that place have complained not knowing the terrain. Either they complained or their reports over the period they were posted there was not rhyming with the system of what the IG is expected from or expecting from them, from Bayelsa. Bayelsa's security system is different from other states. Bayelsa have more water than land. The creek operations, it's not every officer that is posted there that will be able to maneuver and come up with results there. Intelligence gathering in Bayelsa state and the other part of Niger Delta is different from intelligence gathering in Abuja or Kano or any other place. Okay. So the terrain require people who know that territory. For me, the commissioner of police, his job is on the line, number one. But some people are coming to say, we don't want you because we are suspecting that you are posted here for one reason or the other. So if his work there is no more tallying with the relationship of keeping peace and order in that state, the Inspector General of Police should change him.
I'll come back to you. I will take you back to River State and the issue of Mbu. You remember the Mbu story and all that.
Yes.
But let me first of all remain with the Bayelsa State. Then when we are done with Bayelsa, we'll go to the other parts of the Niger Delta region. Now, this particular police commissioner,
what's
is the governor is exactly what's his name and what's the fear? Why this apprehension? If you're coming to represent a tribe, because you are the Secretary General of the Judges Council, and the youths there, you feel they're not comfortable with the man. What's this thing about this man?
Like I said here, I don't know how comfortable any person will be, including we in this studio, that you are not worried that a commissioner was posted to Bayelsa every 3 weeks, a new one. That absurdity shouldn't be tolerated anywhere.
Some persons will feel that your fear is based on politics. Because elections are coming.
No. What's my business with the politics? Elections will come, and what we expect the INEC to do is to conduct a credible election. The people will speak at the ballot, and whoever wins will take the day. And let me also get back to that election story. Like I told you, like the president said in his democracy speech, or the 1st October speech, he described our democracy as being young. It's on that basis that I am also telling you that our democracy, without calling name, I say it may have been infiltrated by criminal elements. And security agencies need to take note of this, to the extent that while the top brass of the security agents are here in Abuja, taking their decisions, most times their decisions are taken based on what is being fed to them by people from the corners of Nigeria. And sometimes they may have been fed with stories that are not proper by elements that have access to them without telling them the truth. So they need to take control of it. So what we are requesting in Bayelsa, look at Borno State. Every one of us knows how problematic Borno is. Even Borno State and the related
I don't understand what you mean by the problem.
I mean the security challenges over there. It's Catholic knowledge. And the related states, you understand? We have not seen 8 police officers in 8 police commissioners in 5 months. We have not seen this kind of massive deployment. So it calls for suspicion. And like I rightly said, our interest is the security of our people. And the security of our people, if I have to relate it to what you talked about election, let nobody deceive himself. Let me make that abundantly clear. That you will be able to use the police or any security agencies to manipulate the ballot when that time comes. The people will vote, irrespective of the party. Whoever wins, wins. And let me also say this. See, the Nigerian states should not be subscribing to a security policy that endangers even the security agencies. By this I mean, not too long ago, the government of Norway, one of the most secured governments in the world, celebrated that in a full year, their police fired only a shot. That's best practice. Our police and our security agencies should be cultured to go about this security without endangering the lives of other citizens and even their lives. Now, coming back to the main point, let nobody think Bayelsa or that region is like any other region where you want to untwist the people. No, it won't happen. And let me also say, like you said, historically and even in contemporary times, Bayelsa has been the ground for the beginning of many things in the Niger Delta, which we as IYC, we don't want. We want our environment to develop economically. We want projects deployed. And not this, not this deployment of police commissioners that destabilize. You asked me a question. If an average of every 3 weeks, a police commissioner is deployed to Bayelsa State, where is the confidence of the officers?
Are you talking for the officers? You want to talk for the people?
Of course, the officers are not in space. You understand? It means that before a police commissioner can differentiate between where we have salt water and fresh water, he has been deployed back and out of that place. So security needs a lot of intelligence and a lot of understanding. So let me tell you this. I am using this opportunity to appeal to Mr. President. I am saying this because don't forget, Mr. President came on national television and he talked about how he requested the IG to remain in Benue or so, that he didn't know that the IG left there. It's also possible that he does not know what is happening in Bayelsa. So my cry now is that he should know that there is a culture of posting to Bayelsa that is inimical to the security of Bayelsa. And we are seeing the results already. And that has a multiplier effect. The security agencies know. That has a multiplier effect on the Niger Delta, and nobody prays for that. And that is what I am interested in, not the political component.
Alfred, like he said, the governor is the chief security officer of the state.
That's a lie.
The governor
That's a lie. Let me correct you. Let me tell you something. It was Jonah Jang, after so many crises in Jos, that said on TV, I listened to him as far back as that he is being described as the chief security officer of the state, but he cannot even command a fly because the apparatus of security practically do not take orders from him. Now, his situation may not be different from the situation of my governor or the governor of Bayelsa State, if I will rightly put Governor Dixon. Yes, the governor is the chief.
If people will want to talk, they'll first of all say, what is the governor of the state doing?
Now, what the governor? Well, the governor of the state will do whatever he wants to do for himself. I'm speaking for the ordinary people. Now, let me tell you this. If that is why we have also called for a restructured Nigeria, because it is absurd, it does not really fit in that if security is based on intelligence from bottom to top, that a governor of a state, either in Bayelsa, in River State Delta, or any part of Nigeria, is not in control of the security apparatus that will deliver security in a state. That is why the restructuring debate is making a whole lot of sense. But however, that may be a conversation. That also
change it when the National Assembly do not put laws together to agree for state policing.
That's why I say the restructuring debate. I use the word debate.
If it's a debate, yes. Will that debate make it a law? It has to pass through the National Assembly.
Okay, maybe because I use the word debate. When I say that is why the restructuring conversation makes sense. When we say restructuring conversation, we mean bringing back all these things that are not working, including what we are complaining about, and redesigning it to make it work. How can probably somebody who doesn't even understand the color and the rivers in Bayelsa control the security. But you see, I don't want to go into that conversation now. But what I'm interested in is how they deploy. In Bayelsa State, because I live there, before now the governor has tried by coming up with schemes such as the Operation Doakpo to encourage, reinforce the police, where I also know that police officers were motivated. I know in Bayelsa that they were so effective that even people who quarrel for house, husband and wife, you call the
I was expecting you to speak that.
You know, it's the truth. They call the even for ordinary quarrel, and their dispatch time. Security is the pride of the government. But with the present culture, with the present impunity of posting, reposting, like I said, supply, like as if it's goods, it's causing a break in confidence. It's causing a break in the delivery of security to the people.
Let's take it.
He wants to ask
yes, he will ask you. You will ask him the question, but let me take it to election.
Okay.
You are a security expert, and from the initiative where you are the executive director, that's the police in Nigeria. You know so much about Nigerian security, especially the Niger Delta. You're conversant with the region. We know, you and I know, that when it comes to election season, the Niger Delta is problematic.
Yes.
Now, if the posting and reposting of police officers to Bayelsa, because I'm trying to lay my question on the foundation which you laid, that Bayelsa is like a pin, the center of Niger Delta. Whatever happens in Bayelsa affects other parts of the region. We are going into election, 96 days into that election. It is very important that we first of all calm the security, the environment, and also talk sense into the gladiators and politicians before we do that.
Like I said before, my point is simple. I'm focusing on the fact that the security, first, the people must first of all have confidence. And the confidence starts from physical officers they see. Now, first, the argument was, like what the video you played, the allegation was that the street of Bayelsa
is covered with
security.
Somebody outside will be scared.
From the story, you're already you're making people scared. Even those who were trying to go to Bayelsa, what is happening in Bayelsa? Has anything started happening there? My call is Bayelsa people should take advantage of these plenty security officers in the street. To start with, the posting of these commissioners that are coming and going, has it affected the original security operatives that were already there working, the architecture of that security system in Bayelsa State?
That's the question.
Which the which the governor has succeeded in putting before on ground. Now, the posting and reposting of these security commissioners or these police commissioners, are they scattering what has been on ground? Are these Bayelsans now complaining of insecurity? Or is it that the people that are posted there or the new officers that are posted there are dressing masked or cover themselves like the drama in National Assembly that people came, block the place and wear masks and all that, and then everybody start complaining, we don't know where these ones are coming from. These people on ground, the commissioner of police posted to Bayelsa State, first of all, have a former president. President Goodluck Jonathan is sitting in Bayelsa State. As a former president, if anything is going wrong in a state where a former president is sitting down, I want to still believe that he knows what to do. Because his security also will not be put into jeopardy. He would also support the governor of that state to make sure the security of that state, even if the whole thing is put in a way that is not having maybe a say to it, or anybody is not having a say to it, Bayelsa citizens, Bayelsa have so many personalities in and out who are also in Abuja here, who can walk up to the IG's office and put the problem before the IG to say, this is our trouble, this is what we don't want, this is what our people are complaining on, and based on that, the Inspector General of Police will do something. To start with, SSS are there, Civil Defense are there, and other security agencies are there. Are they also receiving the same posting regular like the police are receiving? Those are part of the things we wanted to ask. If not so, if the police are not doing what is originally supposed to be, like I said, complaints should go to upstairs. Okay. And if the complaints are not taken, people can come out like you are talking now on the media and present these matters for Nigerians and possibly the Inspector General of Police, if these things that are happening in Bayelsa State are planned,
politically motivated.
If they are planned or politically motivated by somebody somewhere for the purpose of rigging elections and all that, this is the best time Bayelsa to speak about it. Okay, this is the best time they will control it.
Let me go to social media. Yes, remember that you can like our page on Facebook. You like our page, Democracy Today. Follow us on our Twitter handle. Drop a comment. I promise today, yeah, I'll take it. Because, hopefully, I may not be able to take all the comments, but I'll take the few that I have, because a lot of persons have written to me that I should take their comments. And you can follow us on our Twitter handle at Democracy #2 Day with a double Y, or follow me on my Twitter handle at EG Osamor. Yes, let me just, there's a question, there's a statement, something to you, and this is coming from Bokolo Saint. Bokolo Saint is saying the deployment of different lease commissioners to Bayelsa State is totally unacceptable. It had destabilized the security architecture initiated, that's the question you asked, yes, and somebody has answered, by the Restoration Administration, and in which Bayelsans were enjoying relative peace. And there's a question to you. So please ask your guest in Isiagu that is there something, that there is something sinister going on in Bayelsa State, and Nigeria will not grant. Said you should watch what is happening, and everybody should be awake to what is happening. He's trying to read political meaning to that. And there is another question for you from Amnesty. Which intellectual gathering are the police getting on roadblocks in most parts of the southeast and the south-south, most especially Bayelsa, Imo, Abia, and all that?
First of all, like you know, before now, the insecurity situation heated Niger Delta. From Niger Delta, you have southeast, where the kidnappers took over the whole environment. Then it was militancy in Niger Delta, and then kidnapping come up in southeast. The whole environment was a no-go area. Now, those things at a point were all cleared off. First of all, my appeal to the government generally now will be, one, if the community is peaceful, there will be no reason to
upload them
what will raise fear. And at the same time, some persons will now want to take advantage. When the security agency, for example, post their men so much into a particular environment where even these officers are not even having job to do, what will happen? The next thing, those officers will be hired to do things that are originally are not supposed to be doing. Now, if in Bayelsa, still going back to Bayelsa, if Bayelsa is overflooded, according to the accusation or the alarm, that the people there are afraid that the men they are seeing are too many in the street compared to what they were supposed to have in the street.
The accusation is not about the rank and file. Okay. The allegation is
strictly on the commissioner.
See, for now, I am just surprised that it does not make normal administrative sense to us that the posting and reposting of...
Okay, it's not as if they are overpopulated.
Not that the police is too much. The reposting and posting of the CPs. You can't have a CP every three weeks. It doesn't happen anywhere. Look at the Abuja CP. Look at the whole of Nigeria. Even in this AIT. I mean, do you have MDs every three months? Do you understand? A CP is the superintendent. A CP superintends. It visions the police, it missions the police in a state. And that comes with a bit of understanding of the terrain. It comes with a whole lot of security knowledge of that particular environment. So what we are requesting is that you don't have to, I'm being careful of what, but the only way, you can't be switching police commissioners like it's SIM cards. You understand? You need a police commissioner who is competent, who is apolitical because of where Bayelsa occupies, we will stay there, understand the environment, and assure people by actions and everything the security of lives and properties. So three weeks. How?
Okay, now let's take you back to the Bayelsa election.
Yes.
The rerun election that saw the governor into his second term in office. You remember the Southern Niger issue and what happened there, the fear that that election generated. So the police may not just, they may just be trying to calm situations before election again.
So the way to calm situation is to post a CP every 3 weeks.
The CP that has been there knows the terrain.
Yeah. So the ones that were there did not know the terrain, and the police authority posted them.
That's why I'm asking.
You see, let me tell you something.
They were not posted because they know the terrain.
Let me tell you something. the police is not as bad as Nigerians will paint it. We have nothing against the police per se. The police has competent officers, some of whom I've met, that can man the state. Some were there. We didn't complain. Our complaint is the frequent prostitution of CPs.
I don't understand.
I mean, that is the change.
Can you please?
I mean, the
we may not be comfortable with that.
The switch. It doesn't make sense because you need a CP some time to understand. Look at, okay, even at the federal level, do they switch IGs like back and forth? I think the whole of this administration, which has run for about 3 years, getting to 4 years, it's one IG. We have met only one SSS director and the second one. So we need stability. And that you cannot politicize. That you can't throw away. That you can't deny. You understand? But with respect to this particular one, our suspicion with this particular one is what informed the police that brought him there? Okay, let's took him off again.
Let's go to now. Let's take
took
this.
Him off again.
Sorry, let's take this discussion to security before election.
Now,
by Sunday next week, they will start campaigns. Electioneering will start.
Yes.
And something happened in Rivers State just yesterday. If you go to social media, you see a picture of a young man that was killed, according to them, by security personnel. And that has not been too good for them. And about last week, some youth came out of the street protesting that their village is overtaken by water. And before you know it, bullets, and somebody died too. We are looking at a Niger Delta where people are saying this region is hot, and election is coming. And electioneering is also coming. So what should the Niger Delta people look at now? Because peace is definitely what they need.
Election security. Election security is not something that we'll be looking at from the angle of the regular security operation. Election security, first of all, you cannot even succeed in getting election security without the INEC, that is the umpire of the elections, being carried along or being involved in planning election security. But it's unfortunate that you have INEC that will come out and tell you, you know, this thing that happened, we cannot do anything because we are not, we don't have the teeth to bite. So even when somebody comes now to carry ballot paper and go, INEC will tell you, we don't have anything to do because the security officers are not there. Who brought those security people? The INEC brought them there. Every security officer that is posted to election beat is in relationship with the posting that is given to INEC for the purpose of protecting ballot paper. When media people are flogged or damaged, cameras are broken, people are not allowed to cover the election in one way or the other, all those atrocities and everything that happens there, a politician somewhere around that environment paid for that services.
So you mean that they can easily pay a security officer to do that?
There is no security officer that will officially come out in official duty to commit atrocities that will stain the image of the agency that posts him or her to that beat. Every security officer you see that misbehaves out of what maybe officially is supposed, or he or she is supposed to do, something has gone wrong. In Nigeria, we talk about bribing and corruption every day. Even as we talk now, the activities that you see that are happening, for example, you hear accidental discharge, it's not every accidental discharge that is accidental discharge. Most of them are packaged.
So they do that
purposely. So Nigerians must not look at what is happening and conclude that these things are happening all by mistake. Biasa noise is already coming out. My call to Inspector General of Police is to pick this now as a welcome call. You shouldn't even allow it to result to something that tomorrow protests will come and say, okay, we'll go to Block Road, Commissioner of Police sent to us, we don't want him and all that. There are other officers that are far ready and they know that terrain very well. They are junior officers under that man. But then I want to still push to Bielsa people that the man coming and going is not there because he is the best commissioner of police to be there. He is there to do the work that is being posted to do. So why he is not even the one that is even, he doesn't even know the creek more than the rank and files that are doing the job.
If the people, I want to ask you, yes. Mr. See, if the people are saying, if a large number of the people, but I know that some persons will say, no, this man deserves to be there. Not everybody will castigate the man. If a large number of the people, a chunk of a percentage of the people that lives in that region are saying, we don't want this person.
Our call for the sake of peace, our call to the Inspector General of Police is that if that Commissioner of Police, now elections have not come, let it not be that tomorrow elections will come now. They say the problem that burst in Bayelsa State is that Commissioner we have been singing that we don't want. He has come to rig election, or he has been paid by one party or the other. For now, no accusation. PDP is saying it's APC arrangement.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow if anything bursts and maybe whatever happened is against PDP, or against APC, the other party will say, this other party brought this man here. IG of police, we are calling you on behalf of Nigerians. Remove that man from Bayelsa State and give them another person. Let there be peace in Bayelsa. Peace in Bayelsa is peace in Niger Delta. We don't, gone are the days that things will happen. We'll look at them from the point, instead of us addressing them the way they are, we want to play politics over them. Yes, a politician somewhere may have paid for that man to come back there. Yes, postings are negotiated and they are also bought.
Postings are negotiated.
Yes, postings are negotiated. Didn't you see people flying siren everywhere in Nigeria? Everybody that flies siren based on approvals. But 80% of the sirens you see on the streets are fake sirens. Yet, and the security agencies know they are all fake sirens.
So why are they keeping
quiet?
And what
are they doing? They are keeping quiet because those people have somebody somewhere who gave them approvals. Most of the approvals you see them will flash, I have police authority to fly this siren. Most of those approvals are fake approvals. So, the Inspector General of Police, for the purpose of peace and the upcoming election, if election security 2019 is going to be one focused on justice, equity, and seriousness of getting Nigerian people protected for election to be free and fair, then the security chiefs in general, including the military, must start sitting down to plan. The mathematics they need to do at the 11th hour of the election must start now. Because one, military are being accused, police are being accused today. Now tomorrow you hear the SSS too. Of course, like I said before, SSS have played their own in the National Assembly. Now that noise is one side. At the end of the day, you have EFCC playing their own. They'll tell you, hear news everywhere. EFCC have been paid to go and arrest this person. This person has been paid and all that. Those things that are happening are not happening because they want to happen. Somebody somewhere is manipulating those systems. At the end of the day, they say Buhari is not doing what he's supposed to do. Buhari is in the villa. And at the end of the day, somebody in Bayelsa is creating confusion. And at this point where this confusion is being created, the government at the top, which is the federal government, would call on the Inspector General of Police to quickly put this matter that is about to come up in Bayelsa State to rest by either changing that man or speaking to Bayelsans, putting numbers out there for Bayelsans to report crime. Anything they see coming from the security agency that is not what they expect to see. All they're expecting to see is peace and order. Elections are coming. If elections are coming and the people are already complaining, we don't want this police officer, we don't want this army officer, we don't want this person, it is still very early. We know that at the election period, officers will be reposting and other in-posting will come. And at the end of the day, this will also give them opportunity to also, first of all, be sure that the security will be guaranteed. But now that they are complaining, we don't want this man, my advice is, we don't want to see another bloodshed in Niger Delta.
Mr.
Because starting from Bayelsa will be the whole Niger Delta.
All right, you're still watching Democracy Today. We'll just take a break here. Remember, you have to drop a comment with us on our Facebook page, Democracy Today, or you can follow us on the Twitter handle of Democracy Today. And drop a comment. We have 5 minutes to go on the program, but before then, there are a lot to talk about. Just after the break, we'll continue. All right, you're still on to Democracy Today. Now, let me go back to you. You have led the complaint in Bayelsa State, and your issue is not that the area is overpoliced, but that you don't want the police commissioner. And he has cleared the air for you, saying that the IG should please to remove the police commissioner. So what do you want in Bayelsa and other parts of Niger Delta?
Other parts of Niger Delta, what we want is stability of our security that provides a fair ground for all parties. Like I said in the beginning of the program, I'm not here for any political party or any political reason. What I'm here for is the security of my people. And do not destabilize the security of Bayelsa to destabilize the security of the Niger Delta. Because it's not good for us, it's not also good for the country. It's a no-no. What we want is the police authorities, by the grace of God, they are being commanded by the president, who is commander of all the forces, should look for a good officer who they think has what it takes to police that state. Post him there. And not only post him there, keep him there.
Keep him there.
As
somebody you want.
Not, I didn't
but
use
you
the
know,
word
you know that if you want...
I made it clear here.
Your people,
I said the police authorities. I use the word
should
here.
keep him there.
They should bring a prim and proper officer whom they know can police that state. Post him there. And not take him off after 3 weeks, if you want me to rephrase. Or after 1 month or 2 months. Let them keep the police there, just like we have had other commissioners in Lagos, even in Abuja, even in Borno and other places being sustained for a while, even before they make their routine change. Not this posting today and removal tomorrow, because it's affecting the security architecture of the state. I live there. Forget about all these people who speak from Kafanchan and London and America. I live there. Let them keep an officer that will understand, that will relate. Don't forget, confidence is a whole part of security, the security positioning. Do you understand? I really don't care who the person is. If the person is like, let it be a younger brother to one person somewhere, but let him have what it takes, the credentials to do the job. Let him stay there, understand. Let it be a police officer that will relate more with the environment.
Is the people in your state and the Niger Delta region ready for electioneering? Campaigns will start on Monday.
Of course, the whole Nigeria is ready for electioneering. When you come to that election, you see, the truth is, by the grace of God, what I'm telling my people and what I keep telling my people is, crime and criminality should never have a place in our electioneering system. By that I mean, no youth should carry gun. No youth should snatch a ballot. No youth should get into any form of violence in order to please any politician. I don't care about the party coloration. I'm not here for any political party. Go to the... And INEC and the security agencies should ensure that people go to the ballot, cast their votes, and let the votes be announced. Not the kind of shame... I don't want to get political, but not the kind of shame that we may have observed. Don't forget that recently, in Osun State, this is not my word, an election held, results came out, even if it was not conclusive. Then the minute part of that election
less than
2%, that would have been concluded. In the conclusion, we began to see sorrows, tears, and blood on social media.
Alfred, somebody is asking, because we have just a minute to go. Somebody, Charles Orenzo, is asking you on Twitter. He said, ask Alfred, what is IYC doing about the court menace in Bayelsa? That's a mark for insecurity. Well, to reduce it to cultism, crime generally, IYC is not proud of any crime. You would have heard me say on this station now that whatever form of criminality or anything related to crime should be discouraged and be nipped on the board by security agencies. Okay. So we will continue to sensitize, we will continue to appeal. That is why we are also appealing to the police authorities that when you are posting police chiefs to us, give us a good one and leave him with us for a while. I didn't say leave him with us forever. We don't have time. We have just 20 seconds. The Niger Delta and elections.
My message would just be straight to, one, the youth. Elections are approaching. We talk about insecurity in elections. There's no insecurity when a politician does not pay a group of people to say, go and create this crime for me. Politicians said they kept money for crisis. They kept money for campaign.
Is that what they told you?
Politicians keep money for crisis.
Is that what they told you?
I know.
But not proven.
Not proven.
Yes.
Okay, as elections are coming, we're going to police Nigeria.
And
we're going to do a lot of
we
things.
would like to have
We will come up with
evidence.
visuals.
We want
will
them.
come up with
But
visuals and
now,
possibly voice of people.
For now,
Now our message first is INEC should stop telling Nigerians they don't have right to arrest anybody that is creating insecurity during election. These elections coming, Nigerian security agencies
but they cannot
should post
arrest.
officers.
They cannot arrest.
That would have the They cannot
cannot
arrest, but
make
then
the
they should give them officers that are soundly moved to the purpose of arresting whoever is bringing any breach of peace at the election polling booth.
Okay, thank you very much. Gentlemen, we have time up.
Don't you believe that in our growing democracy we may have unwanted elements about infiltrated
anyway,
we need to take
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alfred and Chief Egbe, for being a part of the program, and thank you also for waiting till this time. On Sunday next week, we will have campaigns will start, and with that Sunday, definitely we are going to have an interesting guest who will talk about campaign structure. That's for next Sunday. But tomorrow, 7:30 p.m., we'll be going straight to politics, pure politics and the polity discussion when we come tomorrow, 7:30. Until then, I am Osamor-Peters. Good night.